Oh, good.
We're going chasing.
Hello there, and welcome to...
We're going chasing.
Hello, now, and welcome to...
We're going chasing.
Now, we have a lot on the agenda, lads, so we'll cut the chase and get straight down to the business.
Hello and welcome to the latest episode of We're Going Chasing. How are you getting on, Cillian?
Not too bad, James. Not too bad now. Another
Have a good
weekend
weekend?
closer to the Christmas. Huh?
Did you have a good weekend?
I did, yeah. Great weekend, yeah. Arsenal got a win in, so that was always nice.
Christmas shopping done?
No,
No?
that'll be a job for next Saturday, probably.
Good man. Yeah, good man. I always find if you go into the shops at this time of year, you're just doing more walking about. You're as well off to go in on the 23rd or the 24th
Yeah.
with a bit of pressure on you. And the bit of pressure will bring out the best in you, you know?
It will, yeah, yeah. I just go for the
Um,
vouchers if I'm stuck.
Yeah, what?
I just go get vouchers if I'm stuck.
Yeah, that's very lazy. And
Yeah, it is, but like
I'm not a-
sometimes you just don't know.
Yeah, I'm not at all surprised that,
Sometimes you just don't know, like
that you'll be a man that will go for vouchers.
vouchers on
Yeah.
the 23rd
Yeah, not at all surprised.
and then into the
But
boozer.
speaking of Christmas, Cillian, to let our viewers know what the plan is for Christmas, on the 24th of December, Christmas Eve, at 9 a.m., if you're up good and early, we're going to have our Christmas preview out. That will be covering racing on the 26th and 27th of December. So that's 9 a.m. on Christmas Eve. On the evening of the 27th, so after 2 days of Christmas racing, then we'll be releasing another video where we'll preview the racing on the 28th and the 29th. So that'll probably be around 6 or 7 p.m. on the 27th. With regards to the Monday Club and the preview show, which is what we're in now, there's going to be no Monday Club for the next 2 weeks because the next Monday that we have is Christmas Day. And following on from that, it's the 1st of January, New Year's Day. And on New Year's Day, myself and Cillian are both in Cheltenham for their New Year's Day meeting. We're going over to Cheltenham on New Year's Eve for a night out there, and then going racing the next day. So if anybody is in Cheltenham, or if anybody has any experience of New Year's Eve in Cheltenham, be sure to let us know what's
Yeah.
good and what's not good.
Definitely, and there's a fella that's going with us from Tip as well. Owen Dwyer is his name, and there's a particular establishment in Cheltenham that he'll be frequenting on New Year's Eve. I won't name it, but it's an animal in the name that meows. So if anyone knows anything about Cheltenham, they might recognize it. But that's where you'll find Dwyer. I'll be in Queens. Dwyer will be in the meows place.
Cheers, you're wrong him there. There's a Brazilian coming with us as well. I'd say could be the first Brazilian ever to step foot inside in the home of jumps racing. But I was in Australia for a year and I was friends with a Brazilian out there, and he's over in Ireland for a wedding. So we had 5 or 6 days to travel around Ireland to see the place. But he's only getting about 3.5 days because he's going to Cheltenham for 2 of them. But look, he'll be all right. He'll be happy to see Cheltenham, I'm sure.
He will. Yeah. I think he loves Cleve Hill.
He could do
He's
it.
yearning
I'd
for
say,
Cleve Hill, I think.
yeah, I'd say if he knew about it now, he'd love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I say he actually he could come back in March for the festival. He could.
Yeah, I
love
think
it, but-
he prefers flat racing, though, did you say?
No, he doesn't. He wouldn't know one end of a horse to the other.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'd say now a police horse would be the most he's ever seen before.
fair enough.
But Cillian, we'll stay moving here. There's not a whole pile of top quality action after going by us this weekend. It's got a real pre-Christmas feel to it. So we'll fly through it, I'd imagine, but we will look at a small bit at Naas too that happened earlier on in the week. So first of all, in the green, we've got Blood Destiny. Got £8 age for weight for age allowance, and beat Heartwood them by probably 6 or 7 lengths. That was quite a taken performance, first time over fences, Cillian.
Yeah, it was, and interesting. They started him off at 2.5 miles straight away, so they obviously think he's a bit of a stayer. You'd imagine like he was probably a bit tight to Christmas. If they got him out sooner, they could have lobbed him into a grade 1 at Christmas. I don't know what the plan will be now. Like it's a bit close to go to Limerick or even drop back to 2 miles in Leopardstown for the for the novice chase there. But like Willie has both of those races won anyway with Facile Vega and the other lad. But yeah, very good jumping performance. You'd be very impressed with him. Hartwood will win races too, though, I'd say.
Yeah, I'd say they're two good horses and they were well clear
Yeah.
of the field. I was very disappointed with Landrake. His two performances this year over fences has
He's in
been
your 10 to
nothing.
follow, is he?
He is, yeah. Thanks
Not
for
good for
reminding
that.
everybody. But no, I don't know what it is. His form has fallen off a cliff. So I'm not sure what's up there, but one to keep an eye on there maybe when he goes handicapping. I'm not sure. But another Gordon Elliott horse who did perform very well at Naas was Wingmen. For the Bective Stud colours, Typhoon Flyer was back in second, but it was the Signet on Wingmen who made the headlines, Killian.
Yeah, the Signet is getting plenty of good rides. I don't know what if you have any update on Jamie Codd. I don't know if he's been off since like May. I don't know is he coming back or not. But yeah, Harry Swan's definitely getting a lot of good bumper rides there now. And Wingman was very impressive. He absolutely hosed up, and that bumper generally produces a nice horse. I think Firefox was beaten in it last year. So if he's half as good as Firefox, he'd be a nice horse.
Yeah, yeah. And no, to answer your question, I don't have any update on Jamie Codd. But if I do get an update, I'll
Yeah.
be sure to let you know. It is strange that he's not been
Yeah, well, there
seen.
was no announcement or anything like so.
No, not a fear. No.
Yeah.
And to the best of my mind, there was no word of retirement or anything like that. So
But
I don't.
I can't even recall a word of an injury.
No, I can't recall a word of anything. No, he's
Yeah,
just disappeared the last while. But
yeah.
I don't know.
He
Is
was
the
abducted by Willie Mullins.
You heard it here first?
Hmm.
I'd say that could be it.
Patrick and Willie
Uh,
abducted him.
Dysart Enos at Cheltenham is gone into about 4-1 for the Mayor's novice hurdle after winning a novice hurdle at Cheltenham at the weekend. It beat the Bat, was in second. Reasonably good performance, Killian. Is she going to worry some of the best of the Irish there? I'm not sure.
I'd say, well, she's the second best mares I've seen over novice hurdles this year after Brighter Days Ahead. Um,
Yeah,
but I think it was a really good performance in Cheltenham, and like she's an awful lot of speed. Um, and I think Beat the Bat is a pretty good horse, but like his form has came over the 2.5 mile trip. So
yeah,
you just wonder, like, was she running up against a slower type of a horse? And I think she was, but it was still very impressive. And Paddy Brennan came swinging as he does around Cheltenham a lot, and he generally tends to win when he does come swinging. But yeah, I wouldn't be too worried if I was on, but I am on Brighter Days Ahead. She's in my 10 to follow. I think she's an absolute machine. But yeah, Dysart could be very good too.
yeah. Possibly. I definitely take the side of Brighter Days Ahead. Even the likes of Fun. I know hasn't shown the form that Dysart Enos has, but is a horse that I'd probably hold in a bit higher regard. To be honest with you. And speaking of Cheltenham, and jockeys, Keith Donoghue. He is riding Cheltenham unbelievably at the moment. No, he's been on nice horses, but just the confidence he seems to have around there. I know I always used to rave about Davy Russell, and I know a lot of people did, I suppose, around Cheltenham and how great he was. Is Keith Donoghue taking up that mantle because he was brilliant on La Malmaison at the weekend, and go back there to my mate Mozzie and Canto Bruno. He really is enjoying the stuff around Cheltenham.
Yeah, he is. I think there was a stage there from like maybe 2014 to 2017 where Russell on an Irish horse in a handicap in Cheltenham was just printing money basically. He was unbelievable at it, and Keith Donoghue seems to be definitely, well, we haven't seen him do it at the festival really, bar in the cross country, but he's definitely looking like he could take up that mantle. He's getting a lot of good rides off Gavin Cromwell now. But I think Ruby did a piece of analysis on that mare he won on La
La
Mas
Malmaison.
Malmaison, and like he said, like she's not really that scopy, and he never asked her for one jump until the last, and that's basically what won the race. He let her pop away and get in plenty tight to the fences, and then when he did ask her for a big one, she just about got there and
Yeah.
landed running, and that's what won the race. It was great ride from Keith Donoghue, and he's riding the place very well.
Yeah, and another jockey who's riding extremely well at the moment is Gavin Sheehan. He did it from last to first, and that's all right, Gino, in the Hennessy a couple of weeks ago, and now he's repeated defeat in the December Gold Cup at the weekend, pretty much going from last to first again on Fugitive. Il Rodotto and Ferrero Bamboo made the running and went a fair gallop. But you could even see maybe two fences out while they were well clear. You just knew that this race wasn't done with yet. Because they had gone so hard, you were almost expecting something to come from further back the field and make a good race of it. And by God, Gavin Sheehan and Fugitive, they did exactly that.
Yeah, they did. And like I think turning in, I was saying, geez, El Rodotto's going really well here. He's and like he fairness, he probably didn't slow down that much after the last even. It's just Fugitive just came very hard and really stayed
Yeah.
on well. But it was a very good ride from Bryony Frost on Il Rodotto as well, and she was probably a bit unlucky. But it's funny enough. I saw a good tweet there over the weekend that it's funny. Carl Hinchy, the owner of Fugitive, Paul Nichols called him a cunt on Twitter. So it's good for him to get one over on Paul Nichols. Yeah, so that was funny enough too. I'd say he enjoyed that.
Yeah, yeah. And one thing on Il Rodotto I'll say is that, and aside from the jockey, the attitude that the horse showed too after he jumped the last, like when Fugitive came up sides him, I thought he nearly pulled out more again. Well, it wasn't enough. He was possibly maybe idling a small bit, but definitely once the horse came up sides him, he didn't go down without a battle. A Broadway Boy Killing is another horse. Brilliant performance at the weekend. I was really taken by it in the Premier Handicap. Off 10 pound, 10 stone 9 pounds. Sam Twiston Davis on board. But what I really liked about it was the fact about maybe I think it was the third last and the fourth last fence. He didn't hit him right. He lost a few lengths at him. The jumping wasn't super. Earlier on in the race, it was, but he did lose ground, and most horses in that instance, I think, would have fallen away. But I think you can definitely mark that performance up based off those couple of errors.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it was a fair performance now, and I don't know if anyone recalls we had Paddy Aspel on a podcast last year, about I think it was about this time last year, it was just before Christmas, and we asked him for a horse to follow, and he gave Broadway Boy. Now, Broadway Boy was running over hurdles at the time. I think he was a maiden over hurdles at the time, so it was a fair shout from him, and he's a very good judge as well, Paddy. But just on that race, like I think I know you put up Melina Girl over the weekend, and she seemed to be going really well when she came down, so that was a bit disappointing. But Protectorat ran a scandalous race off 12 stone.
Mm.
He was only just beaten 3 lengths, and he pulled very hard for a nice portion of the race as well. Whatever the reason was, he's not usually like that too much. But yeah, I just wonder. I wouldn't say Broadway Boy. He's going to be aimed at the RSA now or the Brown Advisor, but I wouldn't say he's probably not the grade one horse, is he? I know he's still improving, but I
Yeah,
wouldn't say. I think maybe the National Hunt Chase might be more suited to him.
I think, yeah, I,
Yeah.
I I don't know where he'd fall
He'd
in.
be a horse that I'd run the national, like, that sort of he's a real
Yeah,
stayer,
yeah,
like.
yeah. I don't know where he'd fall in March. To be perfectly honest
But
with
they're
you,
going to
but
run him in the RSA, they said.
oh yeah, yeah. Well, let's see. But he's deserving of it, really.
Yeah.
After winning there at the weekend, of mark of 146, he'll get 7 or 8 pounds for that. He'll be up to mid 150s, low 150s to mid
Yeah.
150s,
Would
and
would Florian
consider.
Porter still beat him?
I'd fancy Flooring Porter from the front. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I would absolutely. Shanghai Bob is another there, won a Bartlett trial for the Donnellys and Nicky Henderson, 16 to 1 for the Bartlett. Killian, what did you make of that performance?
Yeah, I thought it was very good, like very inexperienced horse. So you've to, I think you can mark that up a good bit. He's only a 5-year-old, like so. I think he probably did a lot wrong. He wandered out onto the far side of the track and just sort of stayed on. But he'd only had one run before, and it was in Plumpton at 2 to 9, like so. It was a complete nothing race, really. So, yeah, I'd say he's a nice prospect, and the horse that was second to him in his point to point. Gorgeous Tommy's a horse that's with Henry de Bromhead. He's a nice horse too. I think he's ran well in a couple of maiden hurdles now. I think he was fourth and second, so he's probably one to look out for as well. But yeah, the winner was very good. Um, and I think he's about 16 to 1 for the Bartlett. You'd probably want to see him again before you back him, but he's definitely a 3 mile plus horse anyway.
Mm. And Chiggern is another one that ran at Fairyhouse on Saturday, was stepped up in trip in a big way from his first start over hurdles and Naas, 2 mile 3 furlongs on soft ground to 2 mile 7 furlongs on heavy ground, and won quite well. And Killian, to be fair to you, you gave that horse a very good mention after he finished third in that Naas maiden hurdle. Um,
Yeah, I did, and the worst part was I was out Friday night in Dublin with a few of the lads, and I don't know, I completely forgot the horse was running on Saturday, so I didn't even have him backed. Um,
but did you not?
no, and like going up in trip as well was going to be a huge plus for him. Like, is the worst part really. But yeah, he could be a nice horse, but I'd say he's potentially a small bit ground dependent that he will need it very soft.
Mm, yeah. And another horse who likes the soft is Harvard Guy. He's after winning 2 horses now on the trot. Freddie and Patrick Harty, owned by JP McManus. They run a small operation, but a quite successful operation. Eddie does well when he gets a decent horse. He does well with it.
Yeah, he does, and that horse has been very impressive now. The last twice he's won there today or yesterday, Navan off 119 in a listed handicap. Sure, like I thought he won snugly enough to be honest. Still, like I'd say, Mark Walsh wasn't out at all. So he probably gets £7 or £8. He's well capable of being a mid 130 horse anyway.
Yeah. And then we had the enabler in the bumper at Navan. Historically, Killian, that is a very good race. Just looking back at it here, if it loads for me in time, previous winners of this race include American Mike in 2021, Sir Gerhard in 2020, Envoy Alain in 2018. And I know even going back further than that, there's nice winners there. So he's definitely one to keep a good eye out on. It's a pity there was 2 nice runners in that race that were deemed non-runners, Redemption Day and Jalan Dudery. But the enabler was impressive in everything he did, Killian.
Yeah, he was very impressive. I think Gordon said he won't be a champion bumper horse. He'd be a horse to go to that bumper in Naas.
Oh, did he?
Jerry Clone won it a couple of years ago. So I'd say he views him as a stayer. I don't think he'll see him as like a speedier horse that could win a champion bumper, I'd say. And maybe fairly soft ground would be ideal to him too. But on Redemption Day shouldn't be running a fucking bumper like.
No,
Redemption Day should have
absolutely.
been going straight over hurdles. That's a joke. And I
Absolutely.
was delighted he didn't run, to be honest. And
Yeah.
I was happy he didn't. If he did run, I'd be hoping he was bet because he shouldn't be there.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be fully on board with that line of thinking. And finally, Killian, just before we move away from the green, John Ryan is in the green again, along with Lucid Dreams. Um, Lucid Dreams has turned into a really nice horse from obviously off the track for a very long period of time. He was only really seen as an 8-year-old this year, but he's got in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 runs since March. So they're making up for lost time. He didn't spend much time over hurdles at all. Went chasing, and now he's going to be rated mid 140s. And there's plenty of options for him.
Yeah, plenty of options. He's a really good horse. I spoke about him here a couple of times. He's a horse I really like, and it's just a pity, as Liam Quinlan said, they couldn't catch him out in the field for 3 years.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
might have the full quote there. What was it?
Yeah, yeah. After he won his first beginner's chase, Liam Quinlan was interviewed, and he was asked why wasn't he's an 8-year-old, why wasn't he seen until he was 8? Did he have issues or whatever? And Liam Quinlan says in the interview, he says John Ryan has loads of land down there outside Templemore, and they were good few years trying to catch him, I think, or something along them lines. But
John Ryan, big farmland, and they couldn't catch the horse. But yeah,
yeah.
no, he's definitely made up for last time. I'd imagine Limerick at Christmas it'd be ideal for him. Like that type of bad ground really suits him. And he's obviously showed he can stay the 2 mile, 2.5 mile trip, no problem on that type of ground as well. Like Navan now today is probably a good bit better than what Limerick will be at Christmas, but Gaelic Warrior will scare half that field away. Um, so you'll have Gaelic Warrior, American Mike, and maybe 2 or 3 more. Historically, there's only ever about 5 runners or anything, isn't it? So
Yeah,
yeah, hopefully he can hunt around there. He's actually 100 to 1 at the moment,
still.
and yeah, yeah. Because I know someone tweeted us there a couple of weeks ago about it, or last week maybe, and just said like, would it be one a bet at 100 to 1? And like, he's not going to beat Gaelic Warrior. There isn't a hope in hell, but he could come third, depending on how many
Yeah,
runners there are. There definitely won't be more than 6
yeah,
on that ground because
no.
people don't want to risk horses on it. John will definitely run him anyway.
You'd imagine he will. They do have options. I know they are half thinking of Dan Moore, but like they've run this horse 13 times in
He can run in
nine.
Christmas and the Denmark.
Exactly, yeah. He's run 13 times in 9 months, so there's no reason why he couldn't run in Limerick and then still go to the Dan Moore in
No, no,
Fairyhouse.
he's a very hardy horse as well, and he's very genuine. And yeah, like he beat 137 rated horse by 22 lengths today,
Yeah,
and Liam Quinlan even got to wave back
yeah.
at Sean Flanagan. So like it was real Paul Carberry stuff out of him that time. But yeah,
I couldn't believe actually the winning distance. I only looked at it
yeah,
there. I was in
and
Navan today.
he was only
But
doing half speed really all the way
he
around.
was,
Like
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. He'd love it down in Limerick, and like you'd fully expect him to come in the first three there down at Limerick, to be honest.
I think you can hunt around out the back there and just come with the run. The other horses will be trying to win, and he'll say, "No, I'll just come third and I'll take whatever few
Yeah,
quid there is for third."
yeah. And I'd say there's a nice few quid for third. You'd be talking decent money down there. Right, Killian, we'll move on to the Amber. Without further ado, Fun is in the Amber. Stumbled very badly at the last, came to a complete stop almost. One would expect she was coming to win the race. Still 10 to 1 for the Mayors, but maybe small question mark after that.
Yeah, well, I'd say she would have won. Birdie or Bust's a nice horse in second, that ended up winning the race. But I think fun. It was a very bad mistake, and you really liked the way she jumped on hurdle debut as well, and she didn't like she jumped well all the way around as well. So it was just a small question mark over her, and the fact that Birdie or Bust completely bombed in Down Royal behind Brighter Days Ahead. You just wonder like Birdie or Bust is sort of the yardstick there. I don't know. I'd find it very hard to see Fun beat Brighter Days Ahead. I wouldn't. I'd be the same with Dice Sardinos, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough. You think an awful lot of that horse. To be honest. Jimmy Desai and Paul Townend is in the red.
Bizarre
Or
race,
in,
to be
in
honest.
the in the in the Amber, I should say.
Yeah, yeah. No, I just thought it was strange. I didn't back Jimmy Desai. I just had the racing on in the background today, and yeah, the Willie second string won. Previously are owned by the Costellos, and there was an amateur rider of the Costello riding it, and just looked like he got first run on Townend. Townend went up the inside, and it looked to me he oh, wasn't wasn't going too hard there. So it was just a bit strange, to be honest. I know it's easy to say, oh, the Willie second string. I'm not throwing out conspiracy theories here, like, and it's definitely not pocket talk, but I just thought it was a bit bizarre, to be honest.
Mm. And then one horse that I have firmly in the red. In fact, it's not even the horse; it's those who back the horse. Because I actually love the horse, so I'm totally wrong in saying that the horse should be in the red. But anybody who backed Lord de Manel in the Veterans Handicap Chase at Cheltenham on Saturday is firmly in the red. Like that horse is as slow. He's a boat. And I know he's finished second, but he's back from about 10 to 1 into 4 to 1 for a race over 2 miles, 4 furlongs, which I just found bizarre at the time. And I tweeted it before the race too, saying it was bizarre. Now I also had Cepage actually in one of 3 selections on Saturday. But Lord Manel came second, but like you can't be backing that horse over 2 mile, 4 furlongs. Like he should have come second at 33 to 1, and then it'd be fair enough. Like, and even if he won, I'd just leave him off and I'd say fair fucking play to him. But like going back at him into 4 to 1 over 2 mile, 4 furlongs, I don't care what's in the race, whether it's a veteran's chase or a maiden hurdle around Ballinrobe, you don't back Lord de Manel over 2 mile, 4 furlong. And I love the horse, and he's been a great servant for Richard Hobson. But I have a firm opinion on that. Leave him off over those trips. Uh, but you have Thunder Rock in the red there as well, Killian.
Yeah, just a real puzzling performance there the last day. Um, in the December Gold Cup in Cheltenham, like never travelled the yard at all. He was beaten after half a mile, and like for all the talk about this horse as well, it's just yeah, I never really was one to rate him massively anyway. But yeah, it was just another blot in his copybook there now, I think. But yeah, it's just a bit disappointing.
Yeah, he was very underwhelming,
And he
but
was well backed as well, like
yeah, well backed into favoritism, but
yeah,
you know, I'd always forgive. I'd be a lot more forgiving, I feel, with horses than you would.
yeah,
You know, I do give them more chances than they probably deserve. And that's probably why I love Lord Manel too, because I give them chance after chance after
yeah.
chance. You know,
Yeah,
but
if you
not.
ever get a woman, you're fucked because she'll be cheating away on you the whole time, and you'll be too forgiving. You won't be saying anything to
I'll be putting it down to she was on a bad day. She was on a
her.
the ground didn't suit her. She'd be better now. She'd be better again down the line. But our final one in the raid is Grey Dawning and Harry Skelton. You didn't particularly like the ride that Harry Skelton gave. But I don't know. I thought the Grey Dawning was coming to win the race, would have won the race. Um, was unlucky.
Oh, I agree 100%. He was coming to win it and he would have won
Mm,
it. But he just wasn't proactive on the horse at all. Like, compare that ride to the ride he got in Haydock when he beat Garda Manil and Apple away. Like,
yeah,
why are you trying to switch it up? Do
yeah,
what suits the horse. And what suited the horse that day was bombing out and using his jumping as an asset, rather than trying to pull him back. And then he asked him for a big jump and she completely clattered it. Ruby did
yeah,
analysis on ITV as well about Lentz lost, and like you can clearly see that did lose him the race. Like you didn't
yeah.
need Ruby's analysis to tell you that either. Like, but
No,
just a small bit proactive on the horse would have probably changed the result.
yeah,
I think, and that's to Harry Skelton's detriment. Like sometimes we say, "Oh, Harry's gone too soon again," but
yeah,
like this horse needs to be ridden that way. Like,
yeah. Exactly. That's the point I was going to make. It's again the grain there for Harry. Usually is the other way, but that's it for this week. You just mentioned one thing about Ruby's analysis, and Ruby is a savage. You could listen to him all day. He's unreal. But
have we Ruby
I,
on next week?
I'd love to have Ruby on next week, but
Oh, I thought that's what you were going to tell me.
no, I don't agree with the price of Ruby.
No, we don't.
But the one thing I'll say is about that race and TV analysis and the Lens lost and that. I don't particularly like it. I just have no love for it at all.
You hate
Um,
stats.
yeah, I wouldn't say hate
You
stats.
told me you said recently you don't believe in goals and assists.
No, yeah, I don't believe in goals and assists. Like, no, I absolutely don't. You're 100% right there. Goals and assists, I don't believe in them. I think it's nonsense. Like people going on, like Rashford, for example. Rashford got how many goals and assists last year, and people going on about how great he is. But what else did he fuck up? How many attacks did he break down? How many times did he run into lads? How many times did he lose the ball? How many times did he run down blind alleys? You know, like if people focus on goals and assists and they don't see a wider picture,
You
you
need a
know.
man to put the ball in the net.
Yeah, at time no. At times you
That's the
need to
game. You need to
no
score.
at times you need to stop looking at the numbers and open your eyes and look at the game. That's what I'd say.
But
Um,
the Linz gained and lost. This is a real like I saw it myself. Like the
yeah,
horse made a massive mistake. I knew he lost Linz. This is only telling me how many he lost. Like,
yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I agree, and I knew it myself by looking at it. It was very obvious, but maybe it's a lack of faith in this system that they're using. That could be it. Is it is it something that can be that scientific that they can tell us exactly he lost 4.2 lengths by that poor jump and whatever? I don't know. I just maybe I come around to it. Maybe it's just because it's new, it doesn't sit that well with me. But I just don't particularly enjoy it, and I enjoy any other analysis that Roby does. He's brilliant, but just that one piece, that metric that they use, I'm not gone on it.
there's a Simpsons meme that's probably applicable here. It's Abe Simpson with his hand in the air, and it's old man screams at cloud or shouts at cloud. And that's exactly what you sound like now.
What
You
age are
sound
you
like
talking about? The
an
Simpsons?
80-year-old man giving out about the new technology that they're using.
Like Apu.
Ah, bad stuff.
But look, that wraps up this week. So just to recap, in terms of for Christmas, on the 24th of December, 9 a.m., a preview for the 26th and the 27th. On the evening of the 27th, at about 6 or 7 p.m., a preview for the 28th and the 29th. And then about on the 3rd or 4th of January, is going to be our Monday club, but it's going to be midweek. It's still going to be our performance rankings, and we're going to go back over all of Christmas. So that'll be a slightly longer video to fit everything in. And one other thing is I am looking at a Cheltenham anti-post selection. Killian has 2 of them already. Both done quite well for him, reasonably well so far. And I have 1, so I need to get mine up to 2. And I do have 1 I like the look of, so we'll see if I pull the trigger on that or not, but that will be midweek. But from us, that is all. One final thing, hop over to our Twitter channel. We're going to be giving away 2 tickets, 2 flexi tickets for the Leopardstown Christmas racing. So hop over there for that competition. And for this week, that's all from us, lads. We'll talk to you on the 24th.
Thank you.
It's Honeysuckle and